Hello and welcome to the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. My name is Harry Doran. Week 11 of the Premier League Darts is here as we head to Rotterdam. Michael van Gerwen is home. I'm pleased to say that joining me to look ahead to all of the action is a man that I've wanted to speak to for so many years. It's Big Willie himself, Willie Borland. Willie, how are we, mate?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, how are you?
I'm all good, thank you, mate. I tell you what, the Premier League this season already has been absolutely phenomenal. With you being a professional player yourself, what have you made of it so far going into the 11th week?
Obviously, it's been a lot that's been mental. With obviously the Whittler effect, like, do you know what I mean? Whittler's been playing absolutely awesome, but it was good to actually see Stephen Bunting come out with a win the other week there as well. Do you know what I mean? So, to be fair, as I said, like he's been playing well for a while now, and I just think like going from like Pro Tours to Premier League and that, I think obviously I don't know if he's been struggling with that or not, but like it's a lot of darts to take in, especially the performances that he has to put in week in week out to get wins and that. So it's good to see him get a win.
When you see all the boys out there on Thursday nights as well, and I mean your quality on the hockey, I mean both on and off, you're a showman. You have great entertainment value at the same time as well. Do you think that I just want to be out there in the next couple of years? I would love to be in the Premier League.
Yeah, no, definitely. But, as I said, I was at Glasgow with my friends. We went to watch, and instead of getting down next to the walk on bits like for the PDC tickets, I bought tickets in with the crowd, and it was an absolute unbelievable atmosphere. But no, as I said, obviously I want to be playing at the highest level in the PDC, but obviously I've got a lot to learn about myself, consistent wise, and I need to just get consistently better. So I'm looking forward to trying that and seeing where it goes.
Listen, Luke Humphries will kick off the night against Chris Dobie. Luke made finals tonight, some incredible averages in Manchester. It was the 118 against Stephen Bunting was just sublime. Luke's not featured in any of the Pro Tours this week. Well-deserved week off because obviously he was mentioned in the burnout and whatnot. But with Luke being recharged, you know, he's world number one. Do you think the rest of these players that he could potentially face, because if he goes through against Chris Dobie, do you reckon the semi-finalist and potential finalist should be worried about a recharged Luke Humphries?
Yeah, 100%. Luke Humphries is absolutely unbelievable. And I've had the privilege coming through the development tour, playing against him and stuff. So I've watched him progress each year. So it's actually good to see him doing well. And obviously when he won the Worlds and stuff, it was absolutely amazing to see. But obviously, Whittler, do you know what I mean? Whittler, again, fantastic, absolutely phenomenal. But I think a recharged Luke Humphries gets the better of Whittler.
Well, you spoke about there Luke Humphries coming up at the same time as him as well and playing him in the early stages. You've not played him since 2022. Just in that 3-year window, how much have you seen Luke change from the player that he was 3 years ago when you last played him to now being that world number one?
I've seen a lot of changes. Obviously, he still, like you can see, he still does it. Sometimes when if he's quite bad, it'll be like a 60, and gives it like the facial expressions and that. I think they used to be a lot more like it was like a lot more annoyed, and he's kind of like calmed that down, which is good. And obviously, again, his scoring ability is just phenomenal, and it always has been. And I think again, he's just consistently got better and better as every year's went on.
I know he's mentioned his burnout, and I mean, I don't want to go back to it because we've covered it so much. It's a bit of a boring subject. But do you think the reason that he's been playing the amount that he has is because he's potentially worried about ranking money that's on the line for him?
I don't know. It could be any aspect, really. Do you know what I mean? It could be the fact that the year, obviously, is just like there've been Pro Tours like nearly every second week, and then obviously Premier League. And then we had the World Masters at the start as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's quite for the guys at the top. It's basically 7 days a week. Do you know what I mean? So it's I can't answer that question really. You'd have to obviously. Yeah, Sam. They said they tell you what they feel and that. So
I've been so impressed with Nathan Aspinall, especially with the amount of people that were like slagging him off, and he's put a massive 2 fingers up to them. I think quality in Manchester, homecoming crowd, wins it. in Manchester, finalist on the Pro Tour yesterday, into the top four of the Premier League. I've said it already that I think he's going to win a major this year. Is he an outside shot potentially for winning the whole thing in the Premier League?
Yeah, it could be. Nathan's class. Obviously gone through the struggles with itis and whatnot, but like if he can get like a night or whatever or a run where he's not like thinking about it, I know it's obviously hard. Like he can beat anybody. Do you know what I mean? He's another guy that once that first start goes, it's either a 180 or just under, like, it'll be a deflecting into a 140. But now he's a class player as well. Like so, yeah, no, he could definitely be an outsider.
Nathan spoke openly about his injuries last week in the press conference off the back of the win. We know that what he's putting his body through. We know what he's been through with injuries. Is he pushing himself to this level? Of course, he's quality, but he has his struggles at the same time. Do you think he's worried about longevity? Because I'm a massive Nathan Aspinall fan, and I hate what he's had to go through, and he's putting on some unbelievable performances. But do you reckon he's pushing himself further to the limit just because he probably might not have that longevity with, like you mentioned, the dartitis?
I don't know. Obviously, it's a hard one. Obviously, because dartitis comes and goes. I think obviously it's a mental aspect of the game. But no, I wouldn't say he puts too much pressure on it. Like Nathan's quite a happy guy. He just gets on with things and stuff. I think he wants to be. I would say be stay in the PDC for as long as he can, really. But I don't think he'll be worrying about it too much, to be fair. So,
Michael van Gerwen yesterday lost his fourth Pro Tour opener of the season, missed Berlin due to the injury of him putting his shirt on. Which reminds me, actually, Willie, I know you've probably got a funny story for this. What's your funniest or most ridiculous darts injury that you've ever got? I mean, it could be... Mine is that I threw a dart, it hit the wire, it bounced out and it went in my big toe because I was playing barefooted like an idiot. Have you got something ridiculous where you've put on a dart shirt and you've pulled something, or it might be catching your finger on the wire when you're pulling your darts out?
no, nothing like that. No, I was in Germany just at the tail end of last season. I was just walking, completely forgetting that the cars like drive on like the other side of the road and stuff. So I was walking and the car came towards me and I came back and I pulled the ligaments in my foot. That's probably the only thing. So, but I know it was a silly moment for me there, but no, that's probably the only thing that's really happened to me. Like
it's that German beer, mate. The German beer does something to people, and I don't know what it is. Michael was explosive in his opener against Chris Dobey last week. It was a real joy to watch the emotions that were on his face when he hit that 180. I think it was about 5 legs in, and you were thinking everything that he's been going through with his form, that he was getting back to his best. And I know he's been so inconsistent this season, MVG, off the back of that world final against Littler. Home crowd with Rotterdam, even though he's been inconsistent, I mean, how much can a crowd play its part into getting someone over the line?
no, definitely. Obviously, being Rotterdam, sorry, that'll help him massively. Obviously, that'll give him an extra bit of confidence going into the Thursday night. But he's just been massively inconsistent. And I seen a picture on Facebook. It was one of the darts pages had like back when he won the first Worlds, like the way he threw a dart then to the way he holds a dart now. Like it's completely changed. It's weird, but I don't know if that's anything to do with it or not, or he just feels more comfortable with injuries and that to throw the dart like that. I'm not too sure, but his throw looks completely different to what it like again 3-4 years ago.
Do you think he's been written off too much by like fans and pundits recently as well? Because you're always going to go through peaks and troughs, no matter what sport you play in, if it's football, rugby, darts, snooker, whatever. And I mean, he's 3-time world champion. He's won the Premier League like 7 times as well. He's still only 35. Do you feel like some of the criticism that he's gotten recently might actually be really harsh?
Oh, definitely. Do you know what I mean? And it's obviously because of he was world number 1 for years. You know what I mean? Obviously, again, basically doing like what I was doing, like dominating for a wee while, and until and when you get to that kind of like elite, like the fans and all that, they just expect you to continue to do it week in, week out, all the time, and it's just not possible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now he's still. I think if he gets injuries, not sorted out, he can get back to a level of performance consistently wise to continue to compete. Like, but you can never write Michael Van Gerwen off. That's for sure.
No, never write off Michael. I know it's boring, the whole Luke Littler effect. It's unbelievable for the sport, but it's the old cliche with me being a darts presenter. You sort of run out of questions for Luke Littler. So, with you being a Scotsman, I want to ask you this: what is the hype like north of the border for Luke Littler? Is it just as crazy as it is in England? And are you seeing, maybe when you're training or in little circles that you're in, younger people now getting inspired by Luke to go pick up some darts and sign up for a darts academy?
No, definitely. The impact that's having, especially in my area, a lot of young people, like the JDC, is massive in Scotland now. Do you know what I mean? A lot of youth academies coming up. There's a few youths in Scotland at the moment that could be up and coming. You've got like young Mitchell Laurie, Owen Braceland, and all that. So it'll be interesting to see when they get consistent in that and start playing against like the adults more often in that and more adult competitions. It'll be interesting to see where they come out and what route they take.
Quick one on MDA events, who looks after you as well. What exhibitions are we going to be seeing Willie Borland at this year? Where can the fans come and have a meet and greet? And potentially, well, I want to know as well, because I want to have a throw with you.
I am in Scotland on the, let me get this right, I think it's the 25th, 6th and 7th. And we're in Kelso, we're in Ayr, and we're in Alloa. And then you'll see me November time at the Corn Exchange in Edinburgh, and that's with Luke Littler, Humphreys, Ricky Evans and stuff. So
how would that, if you're playing like Luke Littler in front of an arena packed full of Scots? I mean, A, what's the atmosphere going to be like, and B, what's the Scottish crowd really like? Because I've never been a professional darts player. Are they the loudest, most rowdiest? Because we've seen what the Scots can be like for football. They're unbelievable. What are they actually like inside of an arena?
nah, obviously top notch. Obviously Glasgow, the Premier League. I was sitting in beside the fans at the Premier League, and the atmosphere was brilliant. Obviously the booing at the end was absolutely disgraceful. Like, that should never have happened. But before all that kicked off, it was an absolutely great night, a brilliant atmosphere. And in the Corn Exchange Edinburgh, that's one of the best atmospheres for exhibition wise that I've done. I've done that a couple of times now, and it's absolutely, they're just crazy. They just love a drink.
Yeah, don't we all? Drink, Iron Brew, bring your battered Mars bars as well. Willie, what's the plan for the rest of 2025? Are you just taking it as it goes? Have you got any majors or any major competitions that you've got a target on that you want to put a real dent in this year?
Obviously, I want to get back to the Worlds. I feel like I'm playing well. There's a couple of games in me that I'll not play as well as I should be on the tour, but again, it comes back to consistency. I think I need to get consistently better, and I'm working on that. Obviously, my life's changed a lot. Without going into too much detail, like, obviously it's crazy at the minute, and then I'm just trying to get back to the Worlds, and then obviously I want to keep my card. Obviously, the PDC is where I want to be. And if I have to go back to Q school, then I'll just make sure that I have to get my card back and then hit the ground running again.
Be honest with me right now, okay? Because I spoke to you before we started recording about the legendary 9 darter against Brooks a couple of years ago. I go through little stints probably about once a week where I watch the best 9 darters of all time. I don't think it's right to ask me where your 9 darter ranks, because I think the Michael versus Michael one I don't think will ever be beaten. But how often do you watch back your 9 darter, or rarely at all? Because I'd be showing that off to everyone.
I did at the start. I watched it back and stuff because obviously, my dream was to be at the Ali Pali, and for me to be in the headlines every time the Ali Pali comes up, it's quite something. You know what I mean? But obviously, I feel like I've got a lot more in the tank to do better than just like a 9 darter. I'm have my name out there for other reasons. But it was unbelievable. To be fair, it was.
Has anyone down the boozer ever said to you, if you've been playing with mates, be like, you hit the 9-darter on telly, hit the 9-darter now in the pub? Because people can be so fickle sometimes. And he said, right, you do it on telly, do it down the pub.
Nah, I get a lot of like obviously you can hear like if I'm at competition, I go and watch my mate Callum play quite a bit, and then you hear people like playing the 9-darter, and it's like, oh, here we go again, and then but no, apart from that, I didn't get anybody asking like to hit a 9.
Right, away from the darts quickly. You're over in Bilbao, Rangers against Athletic Bilbao in Europe, 0-0 in the first leg. Are you confident? I mean, because the league is done and dusted, let's be frank, the whole Philly Clement situation. Is this the year that you do it in Europe?
I don't know. As I said, we've done well to hold it 0-0, especially going down to 10 men so early, and then obviously Sterling picking up the injury and going down to 9-0 in the last 10 minutes. So we've done well to cling on to the 0-0. But what I thought the two left back and right back, Tav and Yilmaz, I thought they'd done well to contain the two Williams brothers, because obviously like they're the two star players in Bilbao, even though they've got an absolute unbelievable side. They were the two kind of picked out players to do something in the game, and Tavernier and Yilmaz done absolutely amazing to contain them and kept them quiet throughout the game. So I'm hoping I'll take a nice wee 1-0. 1-0 just get through.
1-0, take it back to Ibrox. Easy, just like that. McCoist and Brazil will be on breakfast in the morning, and I've got to ask you, you've probably been asked this a million times, win the Worlds in January or Rangers win a European trophy? That's hard, man, that's hard. Do you go for the fan base? Yeah, go for both.
Both. I'm greedy, both.
Both. I'm so confident. I love that. And
obviously the Worlds, but the Worlds, right? But
Mr. McCoist might hear this. Are you going to invite him out for a pint in Bilbao with the boys?
Come anytime, mate. You know what I mean? That'd be great.
Willie, thank you very much for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, please remember, if you're new here, to do us a massive solid. Subscribe to the channel just down below. Like this video and keep up to date with all of the latest darting news right here on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel.